Hello, this is Milestone 3 for our tank game project that we're making. Um, so I'll go ahead and get started here. Looks like I have some compiling to do anyway. And go over all the features that were required that are now in my game. So, the first that should be obvious, let me just go down the list first. I have my map generator object. Um, Works off rows and columns, and these width and heights are also adjustable. It selects from 3 different prefabs, um, and then I also have my seed generation here. I can either do it on map of the day, so if I check this, you'll see that it should load up the same map of the day every single time, and the map will also be the same every single time because of it. Yep. And then if I click on random seed here, it'll load a random seed based on the precise time. And this is all random as well. Or that's proof that's random, I should say. And if I came over here and wanted to do a specific, let's say 150, let's see what seed 150 looks like. Alright, keep in mind square, cylinder, just this pattern here. I should be able to click play over and over and have that same pattern show up. Awesome. I was uh, confusing myself there. I was like, wait a second, is that not right? Anyway, we're going to leave it on random uh, just so we can get everything uh, done over and over. So let me check this stuff here really quick. That's level of the day. Um, okay. Let's go ahead and go over the power-ups and stuff that I have. So firstly, I'm gonna have to drag my camera down here. This looks like my tank right here. I don't even know if you can see that on the video, so let me fly in. Here I am. And I'm gonna pick up this. This is a speed boost. So after I pick it up, I should go, I believe, 3 points faster for, well, I clicked the wrong button. So on speed boost pickup, I go 3 points faster for a specific amount of time. So, oh my goodness. We're gonna inch on back over to a speed boost. That's one of my AI states working there, the turn and shoot. Alright, speed boost, we should hear a ding. Hopefully you hear it. And the speed boost, and as soon as it wears off, I have the delay so I can pick it up again. This looks like a, well, let me make sure that you can see everything once again. I was just picking up that. Just trust me if you can't see it. I apologize. Uh, let's see. Can I actually just adjust the main camera itself? That might make a big difference if I can just do that. I'm gonna have to do something with the camera probably in the next one. I think the next one involves the cameras, but man, I was not expecting the map to grow to this size. Uh, so let's see. Can I even see my person at this length? Well, regardless. That looks correct enough. Okay, here I am. This tank, let's see what state he's in. I'm just out of curiosity. He might just be in the idle state. That'll be very boring if he is, but yeah, it appears to be so. Okay, so coming back over here, looking at just to, continuing to prove that these are working correctly. This should be a permanent health pickup for 25 health. So I'm just going to roll over it, and we should see that the max health gets 25 health permanently. And it does. Okay. And just to make things easy on myself, I'm just going to roll over to this green health here. And let's see. Boy, this is definitely going to be my worst video. I do apologize. Worst video in terms of camera angles, that is. So come over here, pick this up. We'll see that my health will, or not bullet damage, my health here will go up to 75. Pick it up again, 100. And since we raised our max health, I can actually get it one more time and get raised to 125 health. Okay, so that's going over what the actual pickups do. So let's continue to go over what the AIs do. This guy, I believe, so to show how the AIs are generating, I'll show the code for all this. But for now, this guy's in just the idle state, this guy's just in a permanent chase state, and I'm gonna move the camera again. There we go. Let's see if we can find another tank here. That looks like another one right here. This should be the flee tank, considering that we saw the idle and the chase. So this guy should run away from us. And he does. And, well, he's hiding under the cylinder now. But I assure you, he does still have his object avoidance, and maybe we'll get another chance to see that. I go and kill this guy. Okay. So, moving up here, gonna go ahead and drag up my camera again, so we can see what's going on. This is the last state, and this is also, I guess, my above and beyond requirement. Before, I had this state integrated into the stop and shoot system from the last video. But here I just made it its own static thing so that I turned these tanks into their own turrets. But there's one more thing that I haven't shown, and that's that these tanks can actually pick up these power-ups as well. So to make things easy on myself, I'm going to stop that, pull it back up, and let's see if we can get lucky and find that, here he is, the chase tank. So he's chasing us right away, and I'm going to go ahead and adjust the camera to make this easy so we can see exactly where we are. Okay. So I'm going to do my best here to get him to run into this. Well, this is actually a poor example now I think about it, because he's already at max health. Can I find, by clicking on him, here we go, AI controller or enemy tank? Let's see, he's got max health of 100. If we don't die, we can bring him over here and lead him to pick up this instead. Oh my goodness, this is going to be difficult. Let's just load a different seed. Alrighty. Oh, I died right away. Random generation certainly makes this more difficult. Alrighty, please tell me this is the chase tank. That's the turret tank over there. Am I going to get lucky, or is this the idle tank? It's definitely the idle tank. I'm sure that... Okay, here's the chase tank here. Feel free to skip around. Okay, so now I can come to my scene, get my camera, bring down my camera to a reasonable viewing angle. That looks reasonable enough. And we're going to get this guy to run into this, which will speed him up so he chases me really, really fast. And there you have it. That should be proof enough that these are working, rather than going through and trying to get every single one of those to work. So let me load this up one more time, think if there's any other features besides random map generation, pickups that work for both myself and the enemies here, and then being able to have everybody spawn in a random area, and then choose from a random state. Something weird happened here. Let's see. What happened there? Huh. That's a bug that I've never seen before. I'll admit to that bug. I don't know if you saw that, but it looked like 8 different tanks spawned instead of 4. I have no idea how that could have happened. But anyway. Um, continuing on. Let's see here. Just double checking. Oh, the map generation. Let me demonstrate how this does in fact work. So here we have 2, 3. Let's see. Let's see 3, 4. And pull up the camera, or rather, I can just go into the scene. Here you have it. All spawn randomly, and in total there are only actually 4 tanks on this map, just as it's supposed to be. And then come over to the map generator, and I can also, let's half the width of everything, which will absolutely break everything, I'm sure, but I can still do it. Yeah, see, here it is. Alrighty. So I'm going to put that back to what it needs to be for the best testing or whatever. But I believe that's all the features. And now I can explain how all this actually works. There we go, it's all working again. Maybe, let's see here. Health pickups. Well, yeah, I'll just explain how everything works in the code. That'll make more sense. And sorry for making it so this is the video that I'm sure you're having to skip around. Just a lot going on here. So to start with, I made this turn and shoot static AI state. Let's see here. Nothing to actually show in here other than the fact that I made that. And then here is how, just the state that's being selected, the turn and shoot static. And all it does is the turn and shoot. So I can go and X out of these here. Here's the player die uh, script. This is just an additional script that I placed on the player so I can have an on destroy function. And all that on destroy function does is it calls this on player die function, which then calls this spawn function within the game manager. And I'll go over this in just a bit, but that's how that works in general. And let's see here. Oh, I was confused. Okay, here's the die. Get rid of that. Here's how the spawn works. Just at the start of the game, populate my let's see here, my spawners list. This is actually just populating. My spawners are empty game objects, I should say, and it gets their transform positions to figure out where to instantiate those tanks. Alrighty. For the enemy spawn, it does the exact same thing for the most part. Just empty objects that are existing solely for their transform positions. Alrighty. And go over... yeah, we'll go over the game manager first. So, here's where I'm getting my list of power-ups. Speaking of which, I need to show the actual game manager. I forgot to show that. Let me do that now, before I forget. So right now, this is where it's getting its information of how to spawn, an enemy tank and how to spawn a player tank. And then where to spawn them at. So if I click play, you should see these populate a good bit. So I only have one player on the map, which we get from this input controller. Here are all the power-ups that exist. There's a power-up within each square, so there's 6 power-ups. The spawners, this is an empty object, like I was mentioning earlier, to get the transform for each enemy tank spawner. And here is for the player spawn. So it'll choose randomly where to spawn the player after the player dies, which I also need to show. Let's see here, since I already mentioned that in the thing. Let's find this guy who's shooting. I'm just gonna intentionally let him kill me, and then we can see how everything loads back. Wait a little bit, and then everybody loads back in. And I am seeing now that that may be where the oh boy. Well, that would be a slight modification, but I'm already this deep into the video, I'll just roll with it for now. But anyway, as you can see, that spawned another one, whereas in reality I wanted that to delete everybody and then spawn everyone back in. Oh well. Well, that's disappointing that I found a bug of this later on. But anyway, just click and play again. Spawners, and that's how the game manager is keeping track of all that stuff there. So if I come back and look at the code again, I can discuss this a little bit more in depthly. As you can tell, all the previous features are working and as it currently is. Here's where I get to create a list. Well, let me not get ahead of myself. List for power-ups, list for the enemy stuff, including this, which is important, the AI states. The way that it works is that within the start function, I just add in hand-picked states here. I give it a second before it calls this function, just so that all these lists have time to populate, because I was finding I was having weird bugs when I didn't let them populate beforehand, such as the spawners never would actually make it into the lists, and therefore I couldn't spawn as many tanks as I needed to. So, let's see here how everything actually spawns in. So, the way that the player spawn works, here it is. It's just choosing a spawn point between, the player spawners array, and then instantiating a player at the position of the selected index from player spawners, and then assigning the input controller to that player. And as for the tanks, it's let's see here. It goes through and select, like for example, in the map that we're generating now, we generate 6 tiles, but we don't want 6 tanks, we only want 4. So it goes down the list here and spawns in a tank up to 4 within those spawn points. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting my words out. And then assigns the AI state to that, or in correspondence to here. So there's, sorry, excuse me, there are 4 tanks and 4 AI states, so those correspond together, and I'm able to just load in the AI states to that assigned tank. And then the same thing is done here, even though not all the AI states get used. Alrighty, that was rough to get through, I apologize. And here's the same thing, we're just adding the power-ups to the game manager. That might be all that I did for this. Oh no, what am I talking about? This was part of the assignment. I'm thinking this is part of last week's assignment. Yes, okay. I add the this to the game manager. Let's see, getting the transform. I believe most of this came from the lecture, and then I just had to modify it so that it actually worked or the way that it was supposed to. So this is how my respawn system works. I had to look at it for a bit. It checks to see if the spawn pickup doesn't exist, and if it does, or rather after you pick it up, the duration will be like 0.5 seconds less than the spawn delay. This, I was having a weird duration issue where it would just like fall into the negatives, and I couldn't seem to get around that by giving it this half-second buffer that seemed to fix the issue. And then here um, is just more power up controller stuff. This is how the actual feedback happens. By the way, that audio clip I just had a friend make for me in FL Studio, but this is the actual handling of picking it up and then adding it to that power-ups list. And then it removes after that duration time expires, unless it's permanent. So here is the map generator, and give me just a moment because I feel like I'm missing perhaps the power-up. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, this is just more stuff from the lectures, the on activate and on deactivate. This is my system here to make sure that you can't heal past the max health and all that. So, going to the map generator. This is again mostly taken from the lecture, but here we have my public variables for all the everything going on here. And then here's how the seed of the day works. Um, and then also the random seed. So seed of the day works on like so today would be 10/4/2021. This works on the actual time down to the second, I believe. Maybe millisecond. I don't quite remember. But anyway, by running this line of code here, we are technically just manipulating random in a way that we can have it be more predictable, but at the same time unpredictable, as if we're generating a random seed. Um, by putting in my own custom seed, that would be an example of a more predictable random loading up a custom seed every single time. Because I can expect that same map to load every single time. And here it's just the ensuring that everything loads in correctly so that all the doors get set to inactive, and the rooms are pushed together as they should be, despite the changing in room width and room height. And let's see here. This is how I'm getting my random room. Same thing, just going through a list and choosing between 0 and that length. And then here's the stuff for the date to int, so that I can actually get my seeds. Sorry, my seed of the day, and then my seed of the time, I guess would be the way to put it. Anyway, super sorry for the clunky video. I appreciate you being patient with all that. Anyway, hope to put out that next video soon, and you have a good one. Alright.